do injustice to themselves that they only talk about the Holocaust. They need to talk about the Jewish expulsion from England in the 13th century. The Jewish expulsion from Spain. Yeah. The Jewish people were brutalized. And who saved the Jewish people? Who stood for the Jewish people? Who took the Jewish people into their arms? The Muslim civilization. The Muslim civilization. For 1,000 years. Brother, I'm not talking to you. Can you please stop?
Medina was Jewish land.
You're being very
People were Jewish in Medina.
Listen, we moved away from you. So
Yeshrab,
this conversation.
that was a Yeshrab at that time.
Thank you.
That was a Yeshrab at that time.
So do you know the
and
history?
the Jews was living there.
Listen.
Jews was
Thank
living,
you. Thank
and
you.
Muhammad.
Thank you.
When Jews they opened their hand.
Can we continue with that? This is what these Christian hate preachers do.
Muhammad.
They
But
don't want us
when
to
he
have
got
decent
power,
discussion.
he started killing Jews.
This group of extremists
Yeah.
in the park, they are the ones who don't want decent discussion. They don't want intelligent discussion.
We're not listening to you.
We don't listen to you.
Don't care.
Can I talk to these gentlemen?
I don't care. I don't care about you.
Can I talk?
At least they are listening. They are listening your line. They are listening your line. That Medina was the city.
Let the world see the Christian.
At Muhammad time.
The face of Christian missionary work in the park. Let the world see. Let the world see.
So Muhammad,
This is the face
when
of
he got the power, he killed Jews.
No, these are the sort of people who killed the Jewish people for 1,000 years. These are the sort of people. These extremists. They are the ones who brutalized the Jewish people.
They moved from
1,000 years.
Turkey.
Put your hand down.
They moved from
Put your hand down. Camera, you covering.
Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Be right.
Can we move the camera so that's the other side?
We
know our history.
Okay.
We know. Be truthful.
We're here not to argue, we're here to find peace. We're not here to argue.
Officer, please.
The peace. You.
We asked one. I'm having a conversation with a Jewish gentleman. All right. Yeah. And this Joshua, this guy, he is really actually getting into our faces, and he's trying to cause some sort of violence, and we're not going to do that. We don't want that. So can you advise him to be gentle and walk away, because we're not having it. We don't want to talk to him, and he's getting into our faces.
We don't want to push him.
Yeah. Now you can ask the people.
Brother, we don't want to push him.
Yeah. I'm letting you know.
Oh, that's what
letting you know so that you know.
for letting us know, right? Can I say something without taking offense to that, right? If he's coming in your space,
We are walking away, and he's continuously following us.
keep walking away, sir.
So you want us to go around the park?
Go around the park, sir. I can't stop him from coming and listening to your speaker's corner. Very simple.
That the Jewish people have a very unique history. The Jewish people, out of all people, they should be the first people to defend the Muslims against Islamophobia and dehumanization and mockery of the religion and their sacred personalities. Because Jewish people suffered the most, historically speaking, as a minority in the Christian lands and in the Muslim lands, right? In the Muslim lands, the Jewish people were given refuge, as I claimed earlier. You seem to have a view that the Jewish people suffered as much as they suffered with the Christians.
No way, never, no.
So what's your view
No,
on
let's go back first of all. Back to the first stage, I think we'll all agree we condemn Islamophobia in every shape or form.
Okay.
And that's unnegotiable. That means no human being should be dehumanized.
Right.
That's on the perpetrator. Now, as part of the victim, I think where we would disagree is I believe that the best tool to fight dehumanization is to ignore and not to engage, and not to defend.
But then if you ignore, you get the Holocaust. How do you ignore someone like Hitler? When the governments are, for example, defending mockery of a particular people, be it religion or an ethnicity, when the governments are funding and backing and supporting dehumanization through mockery of a religion and a people, how do you ignore it? And how do you ignore the consequences? Because the Jewish people in Germany, in particular, if not other lands, they were dehumanized through mockery. Because Hitler and his entourage used specific language and imagery against the Jewish people to destroy the Jewish people of Germany. Right? And he was able to do it because he was ignored. He was ignored not only possibly by the, I'm sure Jewish people didn't ignore him, because because they were the victims, right? But the world at large, the Western world in particular, ignored until the Holocaust had already taken place.
I would agree. I agree with you on that.
So
I'm talking about the lone wolf that dehumanizes. If I walk on the street there and you have people scream
Hitler was
Jew,
not a lone wolf.
or Hyde Hitler,
Hitler
then
was.
what I would, I'm not talking about Hitler, I'm talking about the lone person in the park, the lone person on the street. If I go up and confront him, I don't know what tomorrow he's going to come with his friends and meet me again in an alley. So what I would do is, I would walk across the street
let's not talk about individuals. Let's ignore the individuals, because individuals don't usually cause social impacts unless those individuals are leaders of countries, right? But individuals, Tom, Dicks and Harrys walking on the street with mockery on the t-shirt or something like that, they can be ignored, I agree, right? They shouldn't be engaged.
And they should be ignored.
Yeah, 100%. But when mockery becomes a state policy
and institutionalized, then you have to decide.
And newspapers like Charlie Hebdo are mocking the Prophet of Islam, all the Muslim people, all the Jewish people by painting their noses big and the glow on the planet Earth and things like that. This mockery against the Jewish people, against the Christian people, against the Muslim people, it is uncivilized, it is evil, it is barbaric to say that it is not civilization, and dangerous. So you, the Jewish people, out of all people in the world, you should be the first people to stand up for the Muslims globally and say enough is enough. We are an example of suffering and people.
And I agree with that.
You see this,
yeah.
And you see
but we don't. Unfortunately, we don't see that coming.
The people that worry the most about it, in Britain especially, the board of deputies for the Jewish. Board of deputies is the one that keeps on banging on the table about the
Rohingya Muslims.
With these Muslims, right?
Okay, Uyghur issue is a politically convenient card to play today, because America has an agenda against China. So America, as a government, as a state, is the last state to speak against the Uyghur oppression, because Americans are the ones who killed 3 million people in Iraq, right? Americans sympathizing with the Uyghurs is like the wolf sympathizing with the herd of sheep, right? It's like wolf going to the sheep and saying, "I am here to protect you. I'm going to protect." Come on, right? We're not foolish anymore.
Why are the Muslims so quiet
about Uyghurs? Because they're not quiet. You're not looking at Muslims.
Nothing of the noise. I don't want to get into politics, but you hear none of the noise compared to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
No. It's equal. Muslims are speaking of. To Muslims, Palestine-Israel conflict has a different sort of
dimension.
Absolutely. Why? Because Al-Quds is sacred space for Muslims as well as for the Jewish
humanitarian element of it.
Yeah.
So if you look at the numbers of people that are killed, for example, the numbers in China are far greater. The suffering that they're enduring is far greater. There's much less noise about it. I'm asking.
No. You have a misconception. The Uyghur issue is highlighted because it's a new issue, and we don't know how long it's going to go on for. So
it shouldn't go on for another day.
Sorry?
It shouldn't go on for another day.
Absolutely, 100%. If it was in our hands, it would have been stopped by now, right? But because it's a new, recent issue, and not many people are actually aware of the impact the Chinese government is having on Uyghur psychology, Uyghur existence for that matter, we're not yet aware of the full extent. But with Palestine-Israel conflict, it's been an ongoing conflict for the last 70 years, and for that reason, the impact is well known. Okay. Gaza is a concentration camp, right? The Palestinian people don't have the right to move around. Okay.
I said we're not going to go into politics, but I'm really sorry. I don't take your answer.
I understand why you want to talk about politics when it comes to Israel. I understand completely.
I've had my fair share of political conversations.
But as human beings, as simple human beings.
I spoke purely the humanitarian cause, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the humanitarian cause, the cause in China, by the evidence that is available as of now, right? And there's quite good evidence. It looks like many more people are suffering there and enduring much greater suffering than the people of Palestine.
But that's a political question. You said you don't want to indulge.
No. So I'm asking, why is there so much noise about Israel-Palestine, which tells me that the Muslims are really concerned about humanitarian causes and all of that. And when there's nothing about their own brethren in China.
Let me quickly address that point.
The reason that it's not all the reason why going on for a couple of years already, the situation. Good enough, I would hear that if they're suffering anywhere in the world, I wouldn't wait for years to see the side.
First of all, look at Muslim history. whenever the Jewish people suffered in the world and they sought refuge with the Muslims, Muslims gave them refuge wholeheartedly with open arms. Okay, there was
except when they were the perpetrators.
When were they perpetrators?
When
were they perpetrators?
When,
I know
I put it easy to put it when they were. On the Ottoman Empire they were, under Spain they were.
That's pretty much 1,000 years.
Yes, pretty much.
1,000
in
years.
these two countries, yes.
So you're just making a point.
Yeah.
You just made
Yeah,
a point.
talking about
For 1,000 years, Muslims protected the Jewish people.
And we
In
are
Spain,
grateful. And we are grateful for those. It's very
And
much
I am
the
grateful
gold-
that you're grateful.
And the
But
golden
now
years.
Now we need your support. Our Jewish brethren, our Semitic brothers, we need your support. Not that we're not going to do what we want. We have to do politically and intellectually, intelligently for our well-being, our existence. But if the Jewish people were to support us, it would be very easy for us because Jewish people are very powerful, no doubt. Okay, Jewish people have a lot of influence.
I'm like David against Goliath.
Yeah, David was very powerful. He had God's power.
That's why I'm David.
Yeah, he had God's power. With
I
him.
made it rain today.
Okay. Right?
Listen, but it has to be a two-way street anyway.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. Look, our two-way street is our 1,000 years history.
But even now,
Our behavior with the Jewish people. Look at it. The Jewish people were facing extinction in the Western world. Okay, when I say the Western world, I'm talking about the
Majority.
predominantly Western Europe, right? The Jewish people were brutalized, exiled, killed, and converted forcefully.
Yes.
When the Muslims came to Spain, the Jewish people there were being forced to convert to Christianity, right? Muslim people came in, and lo and behold,
It was the
5
greatest
centuries,
times.
5 centuries
The
of
golden
Jewish
era.
golden age, right? Your scholars like
Asma.
Musa bin Maymun, Maimonides, Rambam,
Maimonides,
born in Cordoba,
yeah.
Judah Halevi, right? Samuel
حطيه
Hanabi,
معك
okay?
But it-
Hazdai
حطيه
ibn
معك
Shabrut,
بالمنظر.
And at
yes,
the same
Prime
period-
Minister of the Muslim government of Spain, Prime Minister,
Yeah.
Jewish Prime Minister,
Yeah,
right? And then Ottoman land, Salonika, Istanbul. When I say Istanbul, I mean Constantinople, Galata, the neighborhood, the
rain,
Jewish
man.
courts in Jerusalem, where the Jewish people had their own beth-dins, they could do and they could do their own cases.
And I said, and I don't want to lessen the greatness and the gratitude we have for those years in those countries, but at the same time, let's not forget what you had happened at the same era in Yemen, in Morocco. At the same time, you had, it depended on which type of you could call it, Muslim domination you had.
When was this? What period are you
At the
talking
same period of Moshe ben Maimon, the Heilige Rambam, the Holy Rambam.
Oh, you're talking about Al-Mohd. I have
The
spoken.
Al-Mohd.
Absolutely, I agree. I've spoken with Joseph about this. That Al-Mawahidun. You see, there were periods of persecution, no doubt, but those periods were temporary. They were very limited in the scope, and they
والله مسكين عليه الشتا.
they were not widespread.
حطيه معك والله كان عندي سميتو
You
نغطيه
had good time together, then
Absolutely.
to focus on
فرق عليه.
what divides us.
1,000 years.
If we want to go what divides us, we can go
شتا
back to
شتا
concepts.
انا عندي الكاميرا ما نجي
If we look
ندرق
at a
عليه
tree and we see
نجي نغطيه
fruit
شويه
on the
مسكين
tree. We see the fruit on the tree, right? The tree is full of beautiful fruit, colorful, ripe fruit for us to
ماشي
pluck.
شجاع انت
Okay, and there is rotten fruit on the tree. Maybe 1 or 2 branches or 1 or 2 pieces, right? Are we going to focus on the rotten fruit?
That's why I said it's far easier and far.
Thank you.
And we gain
So,
far more.
so
to focus.
talking about the I mean, when I would look at a tree and I see fruit on the tree, I would say beautiful tree with beautiful fruit. I'm not going to focus or magnify the rotten fruit.
I
So
agree.
that's why Islam's history with the Jewish people is like that tree with beautiful fruit. Because we, you know, even the language, the Jewish, the Hebrew language
Salam alaikum,
revived.
salam alaikum, and
No, I mean, I'm not talking about the similarity. I'm talking about the revival of the Jewish Hebrew language, the Yiddish dialect and all that. I mean, I don't know about the origin of the Yiddish dialect.
No, Yiddish is, no, put it this way, wherever we live throughout history, no difference if it was in Arab countries, or it was in Spain, the Jewish people always used the language within the country we lived in, and Jewidized it, as they call it. They spoke it in an interesting dialect.
So now that it's raining,
rain
So
man
you're- and we all
yeah that's this is a good
so your good name,
good way
Dinas.
Aaron.
Aaron, and your good name?
Yoel.
He's after the Prophet
Yovel.
Yoel.
Yovel. Okay.
like Prophet Yoel.
Y-U-V-E-L.
Y-O-E-L.
Okay.
That's
Y-O-E-L.
it.
I'm like the brother of
Yovel.
Moses.
Thanks.
Okay.
And mine is
Right.
like the brother of Moses, Aaron. I was born on the day of his,
So
when he
gentlemen,
passed away.
you as practicing Jewish people, and I myself as a Muslim, we agree that mockery leads to dehumanization
100%.
and demonization. That causes people to be killed. on a massive scale, like it happened to the Jewish people. We don't want that repeated with the Muslims.
I agree.
And we would never allow that to happen to Jewish people again.
That's
As
right.
Muslims, we stand as the defenders, as the protectors whenever we are needed. Not that the Jewish people need us anymore. Not that the Jewish people are very powerful.
We are family. We are family. Let's forget.
Yes, we are family.
Ismail and Isaac were brothers.
Absolutely. But we need to really demonstrate that in Israel and Palestine conflict.
I'm going to leave that other area, but what we do focus together is when it comes to shita, is to halal meat. I think we work together.
Yeah, I eat kosher.
No, but I think even
because
You've got good taste buds.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I do. Because kosher is halal.
Halal,
For me,
yeah.
kosher
No,
is,
but we
our
work
Prophet
together.
told us, because the Jewish people, they read the name of God on their food, you eat it, right? He was not an anti-Semite because he was Semite himself, right? What happened between him and some of the Jewish tribes was because the history is very clear on that.
we have two. Let's put it this way: we have two different experiences.
Yeah.
That means
No,
you have the Muslim perspective and we have the
Come,
Jewish
brother,
perspective, but we're not
this-
going to go into what divides
Hyde.
us. Let's
Yes.
not focus there.
Yes, absolutely.
There's two different perspectives, so for the
Twist
people
your face.
and those guys.
I would recommend some books for you from Jewish historians who have written on these topics. One is Jacob Ladner. He's from the US. He has written about the Jewish experience under Islam. Then there is Bernard Lewis. You must know him. He was an expert in Islamic history. He died recently. Although not very sympathetic to the Muslim civilization, but he did praise the Muslim civilization for the Jewish.
What do you mean? The Muslim civilization gave the world a lot, from algebra to Nashmol. In the good days in Spain. In the good days in Spain.
You see, when people
Sunlight
talk
and
about...
shadow, yeah?
Sorry?
Sunlight and shadow, the Jewish experience,
And the other book is Christians, Jews under Islam, or something like
I
that.
think we're going to get under the tree.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. It's rain, man.
Let's say the grand answer is coming. Let's say, Shah.
This is why I like conversation. Let's go. I like conversation.
It was a very good
Now,
one.
coming to the issue of Maimonides and the Jewish.
No, Jerusalem. Let's talk about Jerusalem. The first question.
How long?
You've got 3 minutes to answer about Jerusalem.
You raised a point, and you want to run away from the point without me addressing the
Because
question.
that was the first question,
No.
which I won't be able to sleep tonight. if
I don't
have an answer.
I don't like questions unattended.
No, okay. Her first question is still unattended.
You're not stopping, my sister. Let me respond. You may not like my answers, no problem.
Let's go.
But let me respond.
The mic is yours.
The Yemeni Jews.
No, Jerusalem.
No.
Talk about
Why
Jerusalem.
did you read?
Because that's the first question of hers. We want an answer to the first question. Then we'll get to the Yemeni
Why would
Jews.
you raise a point if you don't want a response?
I do want to, because I want first the first.
The first response.
Why raise a point?
Not now. Not before he responds to the Jerusalem question.
Okay.
That's the most important question of the day.
Okay. Because you know why? He's got 3 minutes and he wants to go because he knows I'm not going to.
You know what? I'm wrong on Yemen, but answer the Jerusalem question.
So you're wrong in Yemen.
I'll concede on that, but answer about Jerusalem.
Okay. So very quickly before I get to Jerusalem, I want to make one point.
He's not getting to it. Why wouldn't you answer the Jerusalem question? I'm giving you one chance because I'm going to go. Are you going to answer when Jerusalem became Muslim? Islam?
She was pleased now, not by now.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about I tell you not.
All of those were sub-questions because we
This is not a
deviated from the main question. Let's go to the
This
main
is not a
question.
conversation.
Jerusalem was a Jewish city. When did it become an Islamic city?
Okay. So you don't want me to address all the
No,
points?
nothing
About
else.
Medina.
Nothing
About
else.
Medina. So
Next
you want
week.
to throw
Next
things in
week.
the air and just
Next
walk away.
week. Next week.
Next time.
So you concede that you may be wrong.
No. Maybe.
I can see it because I want to hear your answer on that.
You want to hear my answer.
On the other.
So you don't want to talk about other points.
Next week. Next week.
Either you concede that you may be wrong, or I address them. I address them. Which one is it? Or either you.
Or the third option is that we just walk away and you haven't answered the question when Jerusalem became a Muslim city.
Your choice.
That's it. Have a
Yes,
good
your
week.
choice.
That's it. So it's an unanswered question.
When Jerusalem
Let's get to
became
that
a
one.
Muslim city?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
Finally.
Islam.
We're to force you to it.
Let's go interject.
Islam to us means submission to God.
Yes.
David was a Muslim. Solomon was a Muslim. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Solomon. I mean, if you accept Muhammad as a prophet, you're a Muslim. Yes, absolutely.
How could David be a Muslim before Prophet Muhammad then?
No, it's a different Muslim. It's the meaning of the word Muslim.
Because
it's a spin that Islam takes.
our beloved sister is not. She's not letting me answer. She's interrupting me. Okay. Now, so Jerusalem, technically speaking, has been Muslim from time immemorial, from the beginning. Now,
Because
if you
David
mean
and
by
Solomon were all
Islam,
Muslims,
if you
yes.
mean by Islam, followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jerusalem was taken by Muslims in the year 636 CE by Umar, and it was under the occupation of the Byzantine Empire or Byzantine Empire. Patriarch Sophronius was the leader of the city, the leader of the Christians. The Jews were non-existent. Now let me finish before you interrupt me. Let me finish. Please. The Jewish people were completely banished. Now listen. The Jewish people were not allowed to enter the city of Jerusalem on pain of death since the year 132 CE. Bar Kokhba. What do you call it? Bar Kokhba. Bar Kokhba.
Yeah.
Okay, or we call it Bar Kokhba.
The revolution.
Bar Kokhba revolution or rebellion against the revolt. Emperor Hadrian destroyed the city of Jerusalem, razed it to the ground and renamed it Elia. Okay, because his name was Elias Hadrianus. His name was Elias Hadrianus. So he named it after himself. It was rebuilt, and the Jewish people were banished from Jerusalem on pain of death. Then,
you live there.
yeah, wait. Roman period continues. Yes. And then comes Constantine, converts to Christianity, allegedly, and then his children, and then there is a back and forth between the Unitarians and the Trinitarians, and then Julian the Apostate. Fast forward, Theodosius comes to power. Jerusalem becomes a Christian city. So Christians do not allow the Jews to enter the city because they're anti-Semitic. Okay, if it wasn't for Augustine and his writings, Jews would have been wiped out completely from the Christian lands. Wait, please, my sister. Let me finish. Now I'm telling you how it became Muslim and how it became Jewish. How it became Jewish, right? So the Christians did not allow the Jews to step foot inside the city of Jerusalem. It was only when the Muslims took the city, the Jewish people returned to the city of Jerusalem for the first time in 500 years. 500 years. Yes. Okay. So now, since then, the Jewish people were allowed to come and worship with whatever was remaining of the temple, right? Till 1948.